Matt Leitz here, and in this step-by-step tutorial, I'm going to teach you exactly how to get a MiniChat chatbot up and running as fast as humanly possible. It's no secret that MiniChat is a great tool to increase sales for any kind of business, but the reality of it is there's so many people who get in there and just don't know what to do. So I'm going to give you the shortest path, and we're going to rock this thing. Let's jump right in. Really, to get a basic bot launched, your very first step is to build any desired flows that you want to build for your bot. So remembering that a bot is just flows and it's all about how they're interconnected is what actually becomes your bot. So first and foremost, you got to have flows, and we'll talk more about various kind of flows you can build. The next thing is to make sure that you've got all of the essential features set up on MiniChat that you might possibly need to get your bot live. And then last is to, really share your bot. You're going to use something called a ref URL, which we'll teach you more about. You can actually share in other ways, but we just want to give you the most basic, simple way to get your bot out there so people can start using it. All right, so 1, 2, 3. So important note before we jump into MiniChat here, this is the shortest path to getting your bot live. So just know that we do provide more in-depth training. With this, we just wanted to show you what do you really need just to get a bot live if you want to just take the shortest path possible. Let's go ahead and look at the various types of flows that you could build for your bot. Now, this is going to seem like a lot, and realizing that if you're building this thing yourself, you're probably not going to have all these or even close to it. But just to give you some ideas of the flows you could be building, flows for lead generation, one of the greatest features of a bot, specifically on Facebook Messenger, is that you can collect leads with one click, emails and phone numbers. You can also have bots that book appointments, bots that sell products. There's various kinds of quizzes that you can create. We at Bot Builders, we create 3 different types of quizzes. The first one is personality quiz. So like, what kind of bot are you? Take the quiz and find out kind of thing. Also knowledge quizzes. So, here's 10 questions. How many do you get right? How many do you get wrong? And then an assessment quiz. So for example, is a chatbot right for you? Take the quiz and find out, you're 85% compatible with a bot or something along those lines. You can also build flows that have product demos. You can have a service onboarding bot. So for example, when somebody gets started with our Do It Together program, we actually have a bot that helps them install their bots. We build bots that collect reviews. You can use bots for recruitment. Maybe you're an MLM or you're hiring somebody and your bot can kind of help in that recruitment process. Also, a common use case for bots is to create a training series. So whether somebody is a new client, a potential client, a customer, you want to use this training series to entice somebody to give you their information. You can use bots to highlight your social media. You can do automated follow-ups in various ways. And remembering that while we primarily focus on Facebook Messenger and the messaging apps, that when you're using MiniChat, you can also use both email and text message. So whether you're using email and text in MiniChat or a separate program, you can automate all that follow-up from MiniChat. We've created viral sharing flows before. You can have basic like about us or learn more. Also contact or support flows. Like when MiniChat hired us, we built a very robust support flow that they absolutely love. I mean, we build bots that tell jokes and are funny or do games and riddles. So again, if you're building this thing, you're going to pick and choose the ones that are most important to you. But just know that if you have purchased our more premier programs, that all of these are flows that we've already built. So I just want to make sure that nobody is wasting any time. If you do have this already at your disposal, obviously use the ones that we've already built for you. Okay, so when it comes to the essential MiniChat setup, and we're going to show you this inside of MiniChat, but the things that I don't want to say but pretty much have to set up are the main menu, also a welcome message, and I'll talk to you more about what it is and how it works, and then the last one is a default reply. Okay, so this one is not really as needed, but just know that if you've got Bot Builders Core, this stuff is built for you. But we're going to go ahead and jump over to MiniChat, and I'll show you how to set up these essential features. Okay, so we're now in MiniChat. We're just in our development bot here. But we are going to go ahead and show you these features that you're going to need to utilize before you launch your bot. So if you go to Settings, and then from Settings you go to Messenger right here. Okay, now of course all of this stuff we've talked about in a previous video, but right here are the things that I think are pretty essential. Okay, now default reply, just to explain what this is, what default reply is if somebody types a message to your bot and your bot doesn't have a pre-programmed answer, and we'll talk about this more in a little bit, but a pre-programmed answer, what that is actually a keyword, right? Which if you're starting out on your own, you're not going to have any keywords set up in here at all. So just to go back to where we were here really quick. So just know that the default reply is the automated message if your bot doesn't know specifically how to answer something. So you may or may not want to set this up. You may want to just, depending if you don't have other keywords, a lot of times having a default reply can kind of get annoying because it'll just answer the same thing over and over. At Bot Builders, we built our default replies to have intelligent answers that look at the context of the conversation and various things, but we spent a lot of time in building that. So this is optional, but just know what this is and what this is all about, because a lot of people do set this up. Welcome message is definitely an essential feature. So what this is when somebody sends you a message on Facebook, for example, your welcome message is the message that will automatically reply to them. So this is a point of confusion. We got really confused by this at first. If somebody comes into your bot from a growth tool, right, which is probably the most common, and we're going to do a video training to teach you all about these growth tools, then they do not get the welcome message. Again, to repeat, if they come from a growth tool, they do not get the welcome message. The welcome message is only if somebody comes through a direct message on your Facebook Messenger, or as they open up additional platforms. There might be one for Instagram, etc. So this welcome message is only a direct message reply that's automated, and it only happens the first time somebody sends you a message on the platform. So if you edit it, basically what you're going to see here is, and we've got one set up, so you won't have this. This is actually just because we've got pre-built bots in here for our other programs. But what you'll see is just a flow using the flow builder, and you'll set up whatever message that you want. Ours is probably a little bit more sophisticated than you'll do if you're building yours on your own. But the important thing is just making sure you have a message there that says, "Hi, welcome to or whatever." Maybe you introduce your bot character, maybe you tell about your company, whatever it is. But remember, this welcome message sends a flow. Everything is a flow. It triggers a flow, so you can build it right in here, or you can build it over here in automation and then connect this to it. Any way you want to shake it, bots are interconnected in any way that you want to create them. Okay, so first thing you definitely want to set up is your welcome message. And then the next thing is your main menu. So let's go ahead and click edit here. Okay, so your main menu, if you see here on the right hand side, we've already got one set up. Okay, so this is the main menu that comes with our Bot Builder's core bot. But if you're starting on your own, this is going to be completely empty. And what you'll see is that there's a default menu that you can open here. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to click on menu. All right, and then you can add any buttons that you want to this menu. Okay, so visit our website, could just be a link to your website. So basically with all of these, you're going to notice that you're either going to open a link, right? So this, this is an easy one, obviously, if you want a link to your site, or they're going to go into a bot flow. So basically the way that these menus work is that you've got the capability to be able to have a multi-layer menu. So when you click on this, it'll take you to here, right? Additionally, when you go into this one, look at all of these different links here. So this is, this looks like it's got some Grant Cardone menu stuff in here for whatever reason. But just know that you've got the capability to have a multi-layer menu. So really just all you got to do to build it is just, if you just click on an item, right? And then, these are already in here. There, you'll see that there's an add button. If not, and then if you want to edit the menu, you're going to go up here to the edit menu button. And see, this is the plus menu. If you want to add another button, I think it lets you go, oh, actually it goes up to 20. So they've actually changed this since the last time I've set it up, which is pretty cool. But it's really just a very easy setup. We just go in here and type, say this is a menu button. We do recommend, you see all these cool little emojis, right? It makes these buttons way more clickable. So if you're kind of curious, well, Matt, how do I add emojis? Well, you can click on this little guy here, and then you've got all these emojis to choose from. Okay, so that's definitely not necessary, but something that we've found makes it look nicer, and I'm sure that it doesn't improve the click-through rate. So like I said, you can either have it reply with a message meaning a flow, or open a website, meaning it just goes to a link. So this could just be your website.com, whatever. Okay, and then if you do choose reply with a message, you can create a new one. And this is actually, this create new message opens the flow builder, or you can select an existing one. So if you've already built flows, you'll see obviously we have a lot of them in here. So maybe I just go here, pick this, boom. Okay, so just to be clear, what this menu is all about is that when somebody's using Facebook Messenger, they at the very bottom, they'll see, depending on whether they're on a phone or whether they're on desktop, it might look different, but ultimately they're going to see this menu. A lot of times people refer to this as a persistent menu because it's the only thing in Messenger that's always accessible. So if you think about it, this is kind of the way that people can find your bot flows. So from this, you could obviously add, it says you can add up to 20, and you can have, multiple different levels of menus. But if you think about it, this is the one way that that people can find stuff. So just remember that your bot is all these flows that are just basically connected with different links or menu items or whatever it might be. So you might have, if somebody goes to this flow, that might lead to another flow, and so on and so on and so on. But as long as you know to come up here and update this menu, and click edit up here and then click save, you're going to be just fine. So really those are the essentials for setting up your bot. And the other thing while I'm here that I'll mention, and we'll do a whole training on this, but just remembering to get people into your bot, you're going to be using these growth tools. And the growth tool that we're going to recommend that you use right out of the gates is this ref URL, because when you click on this, you're going to see that you can send somebody to any flow that you want. So if you hit replace, this is going to allow you to select a flow. Okay, the important thing to understand here, and I'm sure the question you're asking yourself, is what flow do I send people to? And the answer to that question is something that I believe to be the most important element of any bot. And I usually refer to the opening flow or your most important flow as your money flow, meaning that's the one where you're going to make the money. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. It's all going to depend on what kind of business that you have. It could have been any of those from that list, but it's probably going to be something that's going to help you generate leads, make sales, book appointments, something along those lines. So if you build your flows first, you can just go in here and just replace it. And we're going to do a training on growth tools, so I don't want to go too far into this, but I just wanted to make sure to show you the most essential features of ManyChat. Obviously, there's a lot more, and we'll talk about them, but we just want to help you get your bot up and running as fast as possible. Okay, so just to review the three-step process here, number one is build any desired flows that you want for your bot. Obviously, you don't have to build them all right out of the gates, but the ones that you need for your bot to feel good enough to share with the world. Then you're going to go set up those essential ManyChat features that I just taught you, and then you're going to share your bot so that you can get real people going in there, playing with it, testing it, and giving you feedback. Okay, so the last step is, once you've got it set up, celebrate. Really recognize that you've built something. Of course, there's always room for improvement, but you got to celebrate the little victories. Okay, this guy here is Bob, the bot builder. This is our official company mascot. Okay, so with that said, while you should be proud of your bot, know that there's always room for improvement. So what's missing in this? Because like I said, I gave you the shortest path to setting up a bot as fast as possible. So what I think is missing in your bot is a brain, which is the automated logic that we've become so well known for at bot builders. The next is heart, right, which is personality, which is really giving your bot a character. And then last but certainly not least is making sure that your bot is designed to monetize. Okay, so when it comes to the automated logic, the things that will continue on in future trainings, but are keyword replies, which I mentioned briefly. So if you want to have it so that if somebody types something in, a certain flow is triggered, then you want to set up your keyword replies. Also automated sequences. So if somebody was to take a certain action or click a certain button and you want to have a message sent out 24 hours later or whatever that might be, definitely want to set up some sequences. And then the last one here is rules and triggers. So just know that your bot allows you to say, hey, if somebody were to complete this action, so say for example they were to watch all 5 trainings, then we want to trigger a rule that's going to give them a certain tag or send them a certain message or notify an administrator. So there's unlimited different kinds of rules and triggers that you can set up with your bot. So this stuff is a little bit advanced. We cover this, in training, and we also build a lot of this out in our pre-built bots. Creating personality, which I think is really just as important, and people usually think of our bots for, really their advanced automation, but I think a even bigger part of it, to be truthful, is the personality that we give our bots. So we always create a bot character. As you saw Bob the bot builder. Your character doesn't need to be a robot. It could be anything that you want, but giving a persona and then really giving your bot a voice. A lot of the value in bots and makes people want to come back is kind of the comedic value. Just sort of make it so that they're there to help. And I like to make my bots sort of have a self-deprecating personality almost, right? Because bots aren't going to be perfect. And when you really let that come through in the text that you write in your bot, people really do appreciate it and they're a lot more forgiving. And last but not least is really the ability to customize the experience. And that's one of the great things about bots, is that as people go through, you can tag them, you can have different fields auto-populated, and that way their experience both in that particular bot flow and future bot flows can be tailored to their specific desires and interests. Okay, and then monetizing your bot, which I know is a hot topic. 100% make sure you collect email and phone. Remember that one of the great things about Messenger is it allows you to collect these things with one click. So I would recommend doing that as early as possible in the experience. Also, making sure that your initial flow, which I refer to as the money flow, that it's either going to give you the opportunity to sell something or book an appointment. And then bots also allow you to broadcast. You can do free broadcasts within 24 hours of somebody's interaction with your bot, or you can do paid broadcasts at any time, which people don't like the sounds of that, but I'm here to tell you has got a phenomenal ROI. It's actually very inexpensive, and it's a great way to keep people engaged and coming back to buy. Okay, so last thing I want to really share with you here is not to forget about the human aspect of chatbots. So one of the features that you saw in ManyChat is the live chat, which doesn't necessarily need to be live, but what it does is it's an inbox of people who have sent messages and interacted with your bots, and it can really be a valuable opportunity for you to connect with people and make more sales. So even though a major portion of chatbots are automated, and it's one of the great benefits, don't forget about the fact that humans can get involved and really increase sales and improve the experience all around. So with that said, that is the shortest path to getting a basic bot up and running, and I look forward to exploring some more advanced training with you. Cheers. Nice going, champ, but we don't have to stop here. If you want to really be ambitious, click on one of these videos, or if you want to go the extra mile, hover over my head, click on subscribe, and then click the little bell. If you want some free goodies, go to swipemystuff.com, and I'll see you in the next training.